It's been 6 long years since we've seen a revision of the Powerbeats Pros. And in those 6 years, a lot has happened and competition has gotten pretty fierce, especially for workout focused buds. You've seen like the rise of a lot of different companies making more hook style earbuds that also offer like an open vibe, as well as just a lot of better headphones, right? You get stuff like Find My integration and better noise canceling. All of these things can be found on buds that are cheaper than the Powerbeats Pros. Thankfully, they finally made an update to the Pros in the form of the Pros 2, but they still come in an absolutely chonkin case. Like it's huge. Let's see what else you get in the box. Inside the box, we get some documentation. I do like how they actually give you a little bit of a home for your ear tips here. However, it would be nicer to just have like a little bag.
No.
Why do I need to keep the box? What if I don't want to keep the box?
You can sell it later.
What do you think? Comment down below and tell us, do you keep the box so that you can sell your earbuds? Or would you like a tiny bag? I'm a tiny bag man myself. The main features that they're touting is that they are true wireless earbuds with a USB-C charging case. That's great to see. Active noise canceling and transparency mode, cool. Up to 45 hours of battery life, that's 10 on the earbuds and 35 in the case, which for a case this size seems kind of low. I feel like you can get a lot of battery life from far smaller cases. Like, just to give you some perspective, these are AirPods Pro 2s, and it's not even close. It's just a bit too shy of being pocketable, but a big reason why it's so big is because they got a hook style. Look at that. And it's a pretty well-matched orange. Like it's almost impossible to tell the difference between the different types of plastic on here. Like this, the ear hooks are like a silicone type material. It's not quite as soft rubber as I've felt on a lot of other brands. Like it's not as soft as say the ear tips. You can almost barely tell that there's actually like a slight seam. Pretty slick, and they got a B, which stands for Dre. Before we take a tour of the earbuds themselves, we're just gonna take another look at the case. There is a button for pairing. Other than that, the case doesn't feature anything like a speaker, which is kind of a bummer. One of my favorite features of the AirPods case is that ability to use Find My and have them like chirp so you can find the case, because it's really easy for these things to get separated. You put your case down, you have these in your ears, you go into a different room, you've lost your case. So these could be easier to lose than you'd expect. It's just a nice feature that I would have hoped for on a kind of premium focus, a pro level set of earbuds, you know? On the earbuds themselves, these are nitinoid hooks, so they're a classic kind of spring type of hook. We also have a rocker here. This is really cool. Having rockers on each side, I love it, I love it. Now you might be wondering, what is this stuff that's going on down here? Well, these are actually heart rate monitors. Yes, these have heart rate detection in them. The nice thing about having heart rate tracking on your earbuds is that some health trackers like wristwatches or even smart rings can be a nuisance in certain forms of physical activity, like weightlifting. You can't have a ring on because you could injure your hand, and wristwatches can just get in the way. These will provide you another option to get heart rate tracking. There's also the typical presence detection. It's very much like the ones on the AirPods Pros, which means that these actually have a optical presence detection system. So unlike say just an IR system where if you just cover it, it goes, oh, I'm in an ear. It could start playing your music if you have it like in a bag or on a table and waste battery life. This will actually go to sleep unless it sees your skin. You can see that it has these metal pogo pins as opposed to just doing a fully wireless charging system. People have reported that that has caused failures, whether that is chargers short circuiting or otherwise. Hey, that should be a YouTube channel. I can't comment if they fixed that, nor can I comment if how widespread that problem was, but it's something to note. Let's put them in and see how they fit. Okay, first off, already one problem already identified. This button is really easy to press. This is button right here. And if you're gonna be putting these into your ears, you might accidentally start playing them. And that's kind of annoying. Because they have the Apple's H2 chip, they are able to take advantage of some of the improved noise canceling on, I guess it's not even new anymore. It's the same chip that's found in the AirPods Pro 2. And so you get the benefits of the improved noise cancellation from that, as well as you get the nice easy pairing and quick response with iOS devices. With any sort of hook-based earbud, I always recommend that you just kind of have to try them. Everyone's ears are different. I find that they very rarely bother me. These are a pretty gentle, like squeeze. It doesn't really squeeze my ears at all. If you had somebody who had like thicker ears, it might be a little bit less comfortable. I find these to be quite nice, and it seems like they stay in pretty well. One thing I want to know is how well they kind of stay in if I'm moving my jaw tensing, because when you're lifting heavy, you kind of do all sorts of weird stuff with your face. Like, yeah, that's good. Another thing to note is that these hooks can be really, really annoying for glasses users. So I'm gonna get our producer and good friend, Jake Bellavance.
Coworker.
You exercise?
I've been known to exercise. I actually have AirPod Pros 2s, and I had to buy third-party little hooks because they always fall into my ears, like when I'm on the treadmill or if I'm talking. It's really annoying to carry around this like little baggie that has hooks just for when I work out. So I'm actually
Well, you could keep the box.
Well, they didn't come in a box. They came in a little bag.
Oh, that would be nice.
They actually came in a little silicone
really
bag.
Compact.
Yeah, they go in my on my keychain. Yeah, that fits and sounds pretty good, and I feel like I'm getting some of the like noise cancellation or pass through. Oh, this sounds like a word from our sponsor.
Incogni! If you're tired of spam calls and texts and emails, Incogni can help. They comb through a huge list of data brokers that might be holding your private information hostage and request for it to be removed. Simply set it up through their intuitive dashboard, and Incogni will send you regular reports of the data that they've removed on your behalf. Head over to incogni.com/shortcircuit and use code SHORTCIRCUIT to get 60% off today.
Listening impressions. They sound pretty good. If you're somebody who wants bass, hey, look at that. Beats is a place to get it. But it's not like kind of overbearing like it used to be. I think that Beats for the past few years have had quite a good sound profile on all of their lineup. It's nothing like, it's not refined or calculated or clinical or anything like that, but it makes music sound good. There's a weird almost like tinniness or graininess or something. There's like just some part of the treble is a kind of two spikes quite high for me, and I find it very cheap sounding and is not pleasurable, and I think can really come up in some sorts of distortion. It has a kind of a bad effect on like a lot of acoustic guitar. It's not awful, and it's probably something that if I spent a little bit more time I would get used to. But I wouldn't say that these are by any means bad sounding headphones. But maybe my ears are just having an off day. So let's take a look at the results that we got from headphones.com, who did the testing for us for this video. I just want to read part of this email that Andrew from headphones.com sent us about the testing. Just like the AirPods Pro 2, the Powerbeats Pro have a wear sensor that needs to be engaged before being measured. And when I say a wear sensor, I mean a meat sensor. Unfortunately, testing rings are not made of human flesh, so I had to spoof it by using a piece of ham, which did the trick. I fully expect there to be data from other sources where the meat sensor is not properly engaged. My meat sensor is always engaged. This is a frequency response chart for the Powerbeats Pro 2. The dashed line is our headphone target. This is what we think will be a good sounding headphone for most people. So the closer it is to the target, the more likely that you will enjoy the headphone. That doesn't mean that it'll be perfect for everybody. We're all built very different. It's more like a one size fits most scenario. And looking at our chart, in the bass and sub bass, this matches our curve quite well. And I agree, it's a nice, fun, bassy sound that isn't super overpowering. One thing that is pretty impressive is that it doesn't really roll off at all, even at the really, really low end, like the 20 hertz end. Once we move to the mids and upper mids, I think that's where I noticed the weirdness in the sound. When I was just kind of talking about my impressions, I kind of misplaced it. I think I said it was in the 5 kilohertz region, but this graph is indicating to me that it's coming more from what's happening in the mids. You see there's a big kind of 4 or 5 decibel dip right around 650 hertz. I think that might be where you're getting kind of that cheap sound, because we're gonna have this like lull where you've scooped out a little section of the mids that kind of is where a lot of human voices and many instruments live. Overall though, there's nothing remotely catastrophic about this. I think this is a pretty good sounding headphone, and most people will be quite happy with them. Now we're gonna take a look at A and C results. So with no noise canceling on, we can see that these attenuate noise, that is, they make it quieter, pretty similarly to other in-ear headphones, where stuff in the higher ranges and upper mids get blocked out pretty naturally, but as you go down to the lower end, a lot of stuff still gets through. This like kind of low mid area is exactly where ANC works the best. That's why it's great for stuff like engine noise. And when we turn on ANC, It does a really good job improving the attenuation of lower noises. So the ANC is mostly working on everything below 1 kilohertz. Everything above 1 kilohertz is basically just gonna be from the natural seal of having those headphones in your ears. I think the ANC, it's not the best. I don't think it's as good as AirPods Pros 2 or even Sony's best ANC, but it's really good. And compared to my daily drivers at my desk, the Focal Petits, this is way better ANC with very little audible hiss. And it doesn't give that kind of pressure feeling some types of ANC can give, where it feels like your ears are in like a vacuum. In terms of audio quality and noise cancellation, I think these do a bang up job. They're not incredible, they're not terrible. For the gym, I would actually think these would be pretty great. But of course, these don't just listen, they also have microphones. So we're gonna do a quick little call quality test, where I'm gonna call the one and only Jake Bellavance, producer of ShortCircuit. Jake says I sounded like I lived in a can. Would you say it was below average?
No.
No, just it was fine?
Yeah.
If you are an Android user, you will need the app, especially if you want to use the heart rate. You need to download the app to connect with everything else. If you're an Apple user, it just works. I will say the app's a little disappointing. You can turn off automatic ear detection, stuff like that. You can select some controls. You can decide which side of these will be which operation, or they can be the same operation, but it's still a little limited in terms of what you're allowed to do. So like these rockers are only ever for volume. It's a bit of a bummer to not get that kind of customization, and furthermore, it's a big bummer that there's no EQ built into this. Not even a simple one, especially because, you know, it would be nice to be able to fix the kind of one of the only problems I have with the sound by just a quick little EQ fix. Where does that leave us with the Powerbeats Pro 2? I think that if you were a Powerbeats Pro fan, this is gonna hit all of the marks for you. The case is smaller, still huge, but it's a similar form factor. I think it's improved, decent battery life. There's nothing about these that make me go, no. But you might wanna go with AirPods Pros too. They're the same price. They're tried and true. They're also a great set of truly wireless earbuds, but you get better Find My integration, and you get the little like speaker on it to help find stuff. If you are somebody who needs that kind of tight seal, that great fit for physical activity, I can see these being a great pick. But if you're somebody who's not that into the exercise side of stuff, I'd say there's a lot of other places to look, especially at the $250 price range. That's where a lot of great wireless earbuds live. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, why don't you check out the video where I checked out the Beats Studio Buds Plus. Oh man, they should have done the clear plastic. Oh, I would have loved if these had the transparent plastic. That would have been so cool. That would have been so cool. Orange is good though. Ha, oh.